Hello everyone, welcome back to the dylanrvy channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions that I made at the start of the season, and it is pretty diabolical. So please like, subscribe, and do all that business, and let's just get into the video. Anyone think else to do?
Hello everybody and welcome to the first West Ham Slideshows YouTube video. Today I'll be going through my Premier League predictions. Starting off in 20th place, I've gone for Burnley.
That's not that bad, actually. They could even finish running it to real life, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I'll take it, I guess.
I don't think they're going to do well. I think you look at the squad, it's a decent squad, but Scott Parker in charge, he's going to get sacked by Christmas and your season will be ruined halfway through the season. In 19th, I've got Sunderland. Now,
Actually, dreadful take. I don't know what I was on. It
we all want them to stay up. I think I'm going to speak for every fan that isn't a Newcastle fan, we want them to stay up. But I don't think they will. The squad's not good enough. Half of them will be going to AFCON. I think that will really screw them up for the season. But other than that, I just think, they're not a good enough squad. If they make a couple more signings, then who knows? But I don't think they're going to stay up.
I think at the time of recording they didn't make much signings. So I guess at that point it was alright. But so far, I'd say I'll give myself a 1 out of 2 for that.
In 18th, based on the current squad, I've gone for Wolves. Now,
They did a lot worse. Um,
I don't mind Wolves, but I think lost of Mateus Cunha, and they've not got anyone brilliant that stands out other than him. I just think they won't have a good season, and they'll drop down to 18th. 17th, I have Leeds. I think they'll barely.
Not too bad. I'm happy with that. Yeah, no, it's close. I mean, as of recording, they have just become safe in the league. But yeah, it is a couple places difference. It's all right.
Stay up. I do think their squad was and is good enough to stay up in the Premier League. I think with the players like Nonto, they'll carry them throughout the season, and I just don't think they have a bad squad in general. I think they do need to make a couple more signings though to really improve that squad. But if Wolves don't replace Cunha well enough, then I do think Leeds will stay up. 16th, I've gone for a shocking one. I've gone for Brentford. Look,
They are fighting for Europe. Oh dear.
they've lost their manager and replaced him with a manager that's never managed properly before. They've got rid of Mbeumo and Visser, who are two of their best players and their two top scoring players in the Premier League of all time.
Do you know what? They did lose on Buemo and Visser. But Igor Thiago, no one would have predicted that season, what a great season he has actually had. And Utara's been alright, Shada's been good. It's not the worst in terms of on paper yet. It's not the worst prediction I've ever made or made in this video. In terms of placement, it is definitely, but like you got to look at it on paper. They had a Brazilian lump that's not scored many in the Premier League before, so the fact he's on 20 plus goals now, it was unexpected from everyone. So it's something.
And I don't think there's a standout player in that squad that will really help them to get a higher finish. I think, they'll stay up quite comfortably. I don't think they'll get sucked into a relegation fight. I just think they don't have a squad to compete well enough for those higher places in the Premier League anymore. 15th, I've gone for Everton. Now, I love David Moyes. I'm sure
They're also fighting for Europe. That one was quite bad because they don't even have that bad of a squad. So
every West Ham fan does love David Moyes. But, I just think I look at the other teams and they're not as strong. I think they're a good team and they could do a lot better than this. But still, I think they've signed Barry, who I think is very promising.
Barry has been awful. Actually, no, probably not awful. That's a bit too harsh. He's not been great. Beto, you wouldn't have predicted him to have the season he's had. Kind of Grealish and Jai. They were proper outstanding players. Same with Dewsbury Hall as well. Like you probably wouldn't have predicted the amount, how amazing they were this season. So I've seen worse.
To replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin. but I just don't think they have a good enough squad as of recording to compete higher. I think they have the players to do it, and I think David Moyes is a good coach. I just don't think they will. 14th, I've gone for Fulham. Now,
That's not too bad. Like, I mean, they're a few points above that 14th place. I think they're about. I think they're 10th. No, they're 11th. They're 11th. So, eh, still not a great prediction. I mean, they can finish 14th still. So, I don't know if I really count that as a positive, but it's whatever.
Fulham, in my opinion, just a boring club. It's Arsenal's B team. There's nothing spectacular. Reece Nelson's coming back, and he didn't really do too much last season. Whether he'll do better than he did last season, who knows? I hope so. I don't mind him, but I don't think they'll get that high up in the Premier League table anymore. 13th, I've gone for United. Look, United are on a downfall. They
Third.
got 16th or 15th last season. I think it was 15th, and they've not. They've got Mbeumo and Cunha, who are two very good players. Who
Cunha's probably been team of the season level player, and Mbuemo's been probably just shy of that.
keep you maybe in the top half or top of the bottom half. But no one screams in that team. I mean, Bruno maybe, but they've not got a good striker.
So I just have to let myself finish there. Bruno Fernandes is currently on record for the most assists in the Premier League. Sesko is been a class striker. Um, it's quite odd for that one.
And they're looking at Calvert-Lewin. I mean, Mbeumo and Cunha, they're good players, but they're not good enough. Plus, Dorgu, I think he's okay. Same with
To be fair, Dorgu started having a better season until he got injured. I think I probably should have waited to make this video, to be honest with you. I think I kind of rushed into it a bit too much.
Mazraoui. Their midfield, it's okay. Their defence, again, it's okay. And then Onana, they need to get another keeper in. I think Tom Heaton's better than Onana. I just don't think they will get top 10 anymore, and I think they need to learn they're a mid-table club now.
Yeah, good point. And they did not even what. No, I hadn't even thought of Lamens. I think Lamens is quite a late signing, so there's positives to the predictions. No, there really isn't. That was the worst one so far.
12th, I've gone for Palace. I know this is a joke, but I genuinely think, they'll get 12th again. I think they're in Europe, so it'll be
Yeah, standard. Yeah.
hard to compete in the Premier League and Europe, whether or not they're going to be in Conference League or Europa League. Never going to get above 8th for a while, and they won't get below 15th. I think they'll finish 12th again, and, I don't think they'll win another trophy like last year. I think they could do well in the Conference League, but
Okay, well, they're in the Conference League final. Do you know what? It's not actually the worst prediction because currently they're sat 14th. So it's not a bad prediction. I'm quite happy with that one.
I don't know how that's going to work for them to get top 10. 11th, I've gone for Palace's rivals, Brighton. 11th
As of recording, Brighton are 7th. Just leave that with you.
right now in the Premier League is quite good to get. It's very, very competitive between, 8th and 15th. It can be quite a close gap. And that's why I've put Brighton there. I think they have the manager to do it. He's a good manager, but, I think they'll be a couple points behind, like 8th or something. It'll be very close down there, like last season. But apart from that, 11th is a good place. 10th, I've gone for West Ham.
So we're on course for relegation. We've just lost to Arsenal at time of recording. We're gonna finish 18th, and I put us mid-table. Currently mid-table, which is Everton, are fighting for Europe.
Before you call me crazy, hear me out. Potter,
No.
first full season in charge, I think he'll do well. We've signed good players like Diouf, very promising, very good left back. We signed Tadiba on a permanent, good centre back on his day. We signed Kyle Walker-Peters as a good squad depth, who I think is a good Premier League right back. I just think he wasn't good enough. I think the squad wasn't good enough at Southampton. Goalkeeper, we might sign Hermanson, who I think is a good keeper.
See, Hammers has been good lately. but not at the start of the season.
You know, we've got a good system under Potter. We've got Wan-Bissaka, we've got Jared Bowen.
I think good system and Graham Potter do not belong in the same sentence.
Fulkrug, he's good for the team. You've got Paqueta still. He might stay. I think we can get top 10.
Paqueta left halfway through the season, was pretty much a lump for most season, apart from, you know what, he wasn't actually that bad at the start. But still, no, he left halfway through the season.
And whether we will or not, I don't know. But I truly believe we can get top 10. In ninth, I have Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth.
Okay, I don't know what I just paused on. Jesus Christ, the mic quality stuff. It's pretty bad this video because I'm trying out, new mic. But I'm so sorry for your ears.
They're a team, they have a good squad, they had a very good season last season. Iraola's a brilliant manager. Just, they lost Hoyton, for example, and I do think Hoyton's a very, very good defender. And,
They're sixth.
Their squad.
See, the more you look at it, I know it's just been like a couple seconds. That's not the worst. Currently ninth is Chelsea. And they're 6 points above. That's nice.
Thinning. They've got Petrovic in goal, which I think is a very good signing. But I think there's other teams that will do slightly better than them this season. In eighth, I have Forest. Now, again, decent.
They are 15th right now. What was I genuinely on while making this? Diabolical.
Team. And I do think they'll do slightly worse, obviously. But, they've got a decent squad. If they keep Gibbs White, I don't like Forest for that, but I think if they keep Gibbs White, it's very good. Chris Woods, I think, will have another good season.
No. He was injured for most of the season.
I think even though Malanga's gone, they've got players like, for example, Igor Jesus. They've got not necessarily in Malanga's position, but they've made a couple decent signings. They've got a good squad.
You can't really tell that they were missing Elanga, to be fair. I know they were a lot lower down, but Elanga stunk up the gaff in Newcastle. So, yeah, on that sense, yeah, it's alright.
If Gibbs White leaves, they can replace him. They've got Hudson Odoi, I think, is still a good player. I just think, they won't have, a Europe season again, but I think they'll have a solid top 10 finish. In seventh.
I'm so sorry for your ears. I don't know why. I have this like generational run in these videos of getting seventh wrong. I always say seventh. Seventh. So, it wasn't intentional. I promise it wasn't intentional. I don't know, it's just the sort of issue.
In seventh, I have Spurs.
Whoa! Oh dear. Oh dear. That's. I don't even know whether I want to watch the rest of this video anymore. Almost. They're 17th, and 2 weeks ago they were 18th, and there was a big chance they were going to go down. Oh dear.
Boy. I didn't really want to make this prediction because I don't like Spurs at all. And before any Spurs fan says it's a forced rivalry, I just don't like them. I think,
I think that whole forced rivalry now has just kind of, what's it called, dialed off a bit now. Because it's really not a forced rivalry. It's got a bit of rivalry about it now. We both don't like each other, and we're currently fighting to stay in the Premier League. There's going to be some rivalry about that.
they've done some good business this window. I mean, Kudus for only about 50 million. It's worth a punt. And as much as I don't like.
Okay, Kudus, he was very good to start the season. He was pretty much their only attacking output, which is why they didn't drop into the relegation zone instantly. However, he has been injured since January, and as he was coming back, he got injured again. So,
Mohamed Kudus. I think he'll be really good for them because I think he wants to play Europe for them. Gibbs White, if they sign him, it's a very good signing. They've got a good squad. Vuskovic is a great player, and I hate to say it, I really think they'll get top 7.
Vuskovic to go out on loan, to be fair, but he has been classed in the Bundesliga, so he is a class player. As I was saying.
7, maybe even above 7th, but right now I think 7th. In 6th, I have Aston Villa.
Do you know what? That's good. They're 4 points above sixth, but they're fifth. That's good. I'm happy with that. I'm giving myself another point out of that because
So honest, I don't really, I don't really know where they would finish. I guess they're not bad enough to finish mid-table, but they're not good enough to finish top four. So sixth is a good position. I don't know. I'm trying to think who they've signed. I mean, Emi Martinez might go. They've signed.
they signed Sancho and Tammy Abraham. No, I don't know. I feel like there's a good prediction. Martinez obviously didn't go. That's probably the best prediction I've made so far in this video, to be honest with you. Yeah.
A backup keeper, but sixth is a decent position for Emery's team. Fifth, I have Newcastle, Champions League.
They're 13th. They're 13th. And it's, I mean, they're a few points off mid-table, but they did not get anywhere near fifth. It's, oh dear.
Spot. I think with Newcastle, they've got a good squad. They've signed Elanga, and
Elanga has probably been the worst signing in the whole league.
is a great player. Elanga and Elanga and Murphy battling it out. They might sign Ekatike, but I think he's going to go to Liverpool.
Okay, well I was right on that. You can tell how old this is because they still have Isak, and Ekatike might have also joined them.
Isak, best striker in the Premier League, one of the best strikers in the world.
So he left. I'm going to double down on this though. I think Isak at Newcastle was probably one of the best strikers in the world. I think he was better than Haaland in my opinion at the time of this. Who else? I mean, yeah. I feel like, as Geordie Josh would say, Isak and Ekatike in a 4-4-2. With Elanga, then if you think about last season form, these type players, that's not even the worst prediction. However, that did not happen, so it is the worst prediction.
Got Gordon and Barnes. It's a good squad. Then they've got a midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, Joe Linton. Their defence is also solid. They've got Lewis Hall, great player. I do think they need a keeper. I think if they get Trafford, that would be good, but he's probably going to go to City. But
They got Ramsdale. I think if they got Trafford, they would be a lot higher. But it's kind of unfortunate Trafford went to City and should have been number 2.
I think they're going to get Champions League. Fourth, I have Arsenal. Now they're typically finished second.
No. Okay, I don't think they'd sign Gyökeres, but they're about to win the league.
But they might sign Gyökeres, and at the moment they haven't signed Gyökeres, which is, it's
That's not bad. I don't mind that. Still incredibly wrong though, because he did sign Gyökeres.
surprising to me, right? But look at
Just the loss of thought in those eyes.
their team. I think, and then look at the other teams. I think there's other teams with better squad depth, better squad in general. Madueke, he's shit. Let's be real, he's
Okay, I'm so glad I got this right. Because he has been poor.
not good. If they sign Gyökeres, he's a good striker, but look at when he was at Brighton. He played a few games and only scored 1 goal. Coventry did well, that's in the Championship. Here he's someone at Sporting, and yeah, he scored a hat-trick at City.
To be fair, his goal record at Sporting was a lot better than I think I've given him credit for. He's been good. I wouldn't say he's been a bad signing, just feel like he's not been pumping the goals that they really needed to. Still, might win the league, so.
But look at England, he's not proven there. We'll see, But they haven't
We did see.
got a good left winger. Madueke's not a left winger. They've got Saka, who's a good player. Odegaard's an over.
I don't know why they haven't used Eze more out on that left. I mean, he's good in the 10, to be fair. But I just feel like if you had him on the left, I mean, Trossard and Martinelli, they're okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like they could utilise players more.
Great, Paqueta. Rice and Zubimendi's good midfield. They've got a decent defence, very good defensive centre backs.
Decent defence. I think this is the best defence in the world. I mean, to be fair, Timber, nobody would have really predicted him to have that good of a season. So,
And David Raya,
best keeper in the world.
who's a good goalkeeper. I just don't think they'll get second. Top three now, Chelsea in third. They've just won.
They're in ninth. I'll leave that there.
On the Club World Cup. They are officially the best team in the world. But I don't think they're going to win the Premier League. I think, City were in it. They didn't probably give it a try. City have a better squad than them, obviously. And Chelsea, they have a good squad. They've signed João Pedro and Delap. So, they're the main ones to me. Delap, Premier League proven striker of last season. João Pedro, what a tournament he had. I just really, and they got rid of Madueke. They've got Esteval, for example, as well. Then they got Gittins. They've got Palmer.
To be fair, they made a bunch of signings because of the Club World Cup. I've not been that wrong here. I just feel like because the second half of the season when they had Rossignol and whoever the interim is, it's
got great players. They could even get second, or maybe even first, but I think the other two teams deserve it more.
I remember I had this random place for Chelsea at the start of the season because they won the Club World Cup and how they destroyed PSG. But they're ninth.
In second, I have Liverpool.
Fourth, yeah, it's not. It's pretty bad. They've been shit this season.
Now, judging on the signings, and I made this list a couple of weeks ago, I think they might actually win it again, but I've put them second purely.
No.
They had a great season last year, but they've got rid of Trent. Yeah, they've got Frimpong, he's a decent defender. Quite good
Frimpong's been really overrated in my opinion. Just thought I'd point that out there.
defender. But I think they might get Isak or Ekatike.
They got both. Ekatike has been great until he got injured recently. That is not a pleasant breeze for him. Isak's been crap.
Who are two very good strikers.
Very.
Just I don't think they're going to do it this year. And I think they'll fall short like they've done in previous years, for example, 18-19. I do think that City, who are in first, I won't make a separate part on that.
They got second. So over on the video, I think I've got 3 places where like they're one above or below or whatever. I got 0 predictions bang on.
I think they'll bounce back. And the reason I put City first is, they've got a good squad. Rodri's back, and Rodri's so influential for City. I genuinely think they will win. So that is it for my first.
Okay. Overall, I think the predictions are dreadful. I think the worst prediction of the video goes to United. The best, probably Villa. That was probably quite a good one. But yeah, pretty crap. So that is it for this issue video. Please like, subscribe, do all that business. Follow my other accounts, which is now in the banner. Overall, pretty bad signings. So I'll see you in the next one. Follow my TikTok for GCC interviews. There should be a couple out by the time this video actually gets out. So see you later.